guys, it's me, Takani, and today we are recapping Winter House Season 3, Episode 1. Loverboys, City Girls, and Yachties, oh my! Let's meet the cast from Winter House Season 3 before we dive into the recap. From Below Deck Med, we have Malia and Katie. And then from Below Deck Sailing Yacht, we have Alex. From Summer House, we have Kyle, Amanda, and Danielle. And from Martha's Vineyard, which is a branch of Summer's house, we have Jordan. From Winter House, which is kind of a spin-off from Summer House, we have Corey. From Family Karma, we have Brian. From Vanderpump Rules, we have Schwartz. And then we have Casey, who's not really from anything, apparently. She's just here. This season, they're staying in a 10,000 square foot mansion in Steamboat Springs. And according to Zillow, it's only $30,000 a month to rent it. But the kitchen is absolutely insane, and it has 2 dishwashers. What kind of rich people shit is that? After everyone arrives to the house, they discuss that Tom Schwartz will be arriving the next day. And then they talk a little bit about the Sandoval affair. For those of you that are unaware, I'm looking at you, Katie. Tom Sandoval and Ariana Madix are from Vanderpump Rules. They were in a long-term 10-year relationship. They even bought a house together. Unfortunately, Sandoval got caught having an affair with Raquel, another castmate from Vanderpump Rules, and a best friend of Ariana. Before they filmed Winter House, the news broke and the whole world found out about the affair, which a lot of people called Scamdoval. At the time of filming at Winter House, they haven't recorded Vanderpump Rules reunion yet, which they'll be recording mid-season, so Schwartz will leave to record that and then come back. But the whole Scandival thing, that's a story for a Vanderpump Rules recap. Everybody's in the house, and they're drinking and having a blast. Alex makes a toast to condoms and snakes. 2 things he doesn't mess with. I can relate to the snakes things. They're kind of creepy. I mean, I do have a articulated snake behind me, though. Let me show you guys. This is my boy. He's a snake. An articulated snake that I printed on my 3D printer. How cool is that? It's very loud to mess with, though. But isn't that awesome? So exciting. I love this thing. I just think it's cool and it's fun to play with. But anyway, let's get back into the recap. Everybody goes and picks their room, and Alex is stuck in the double bedroom without a bathroom. So he tells Jordan, I'm gonna use your bathroom sometimes, but don't worry. I'll only use it to brush my teeth because everything else I do outside. What do you mean by that? You poop outside? That would be awful, especially in the snow. They have a fuzzy hat party and eat barbecue. Then Malia asks what everybody's relationship status is. Well, Kyle's married to Amanda, so that takes him off the market. And everybody else is single, except for maybe kinda Corey. I don't know, he's very vague about it. He tells everyone he's in a situationship, and there's no labels. Brian talks about his friendship with Alex, and how they have the same type of woman. Anybody. Except Alex is looking for fun. He wants a friends with benefits situation. He wants to play the rollin' in the stack. And Brian wants something more serious. He's looking for love. Brian attempts to flirt with Malia by saying that she's like an ogre. She has so many layers. You know, like Shrek. Meanwhile, Alex and Jordan are hanging out in the hot tub. And Alex goes in for this iconically awkward, slow kiss, which Jordan rejects. After Jordan rejects him, she decides that she's gonna go to bed. And as she's going to bed, she walks past Brian, who reaches out and tries to kiss her, despite not even talking to her at all that day. She was like, oh, no. And he was like, oh, too much? She's like, yeah. And then she just felt like she was in, like, the Twilight Zone. Why are all these men trying to kiss me? After last night's party, things got a little messy, but luckily the house has Yachties on board. Malia wakes up super early and she just cleans the whole kitchen. Then everyone else wakes up at 9 a.m. Casey and Brian are vibing and making TikToks this morning, and the house prepares to go tubing. And Jordan tells everyone about the 2 awkward kisses from last night. While tubing, Corey is flirting with Malia, which will be a common thing throughout the season. And Alex attempts to flirt with Danielle, but she shoots him down and tells him to stick to one woman. He's like, what do you mean? And she's like, you tried to kiss Jordan last night. And he feigns ignorance and says he doesn't remember that. Convenient. Winter House Season 3, Episode 2, Pirate Ships and Situationships. Schwartz arrives this morning, and as he's walking through the door, he's talking in his confessional about how the Sandoval affair really affected their lives and their businesses. Corey, Kyle, and Shorts grab their snowboards and head to the top of the mountain outside their rental. Well, it's more like a hill, and Casey comments that it's not steep enough to snowboard down. But that doesn't stop the guys. Once they get to the top, Corey asks Shorts about his life. He says, "What's going on in your life, besides the whole affair stuff?" And so Shorts talks about the affair stuff. He talks about how it's affected him personally, and how everyone just assumes that he knew about the affair. But he only found out a month before. They attempt to snowboard down the hill, but it turns out Casey was right, and they just keep falling. It wasn't steep enough for snowboarding. Despite Alex's immediate interest in Jordan, it seems that Jordan is way more interested in Corey. The whole house goes out for dinner, and Schwartz brings up his ex-wife Katie. He will constantly bring up his ex-wife and the Sandoval affair throughout the season. It seems like he doesn't have much else going on, I guess. But he brings up his ex-wife Katie and talks about how he wants to be friends with her still, even though they're no longer together. And Danielle shares that sentiment of wanting to be friends with your ex. The table talks about how long it's been since their previous relationships. And Corey says that his last relationship was before 2020. Malia points out that he's in a situationship right now. And Corey says that he and Sam aren't exclusive. Then Malia asks if he plans to be exclusive with her. And Corey just replies that he doesn't know. Jordan then asks Corey if he's seen other people since he started his situationship with Sam. And he says he hasn't started seeing other people yet. Despite all the hotties in the house, they decide to do a hot lap around the bar, which I guess is like slang for going around the bar and hitting on anybody you find attractive and getting some numbers. They get home around midnight and they are still partying. Brian asks Danielle how she's feeling and if she's getting over her ex. And Danielle is understandably annoyed. She's like, why do people keep bringing up exes? Because she's trying to get over the heartbreak. Kyle then attempts to play real-life Fruit Ninja and cuts a watermelon in half, then hits a glass. Corey and Malaya are looking at her Instagram, and Corey's making comments about how great her butt looks and how if she was on Tinder, he would swipe right on her. Which the compliments to her butt are understandable. I mean, those Yachties are in shape. Actually, everybody in Winter House is in shape. The next day, Shorts actually wakes up early and he cleans the whole kitchen. Casey joins him and they start talking about owls and the snow, and then Casey tells him that she found an owl in her backyard that she plans on taxidermying. They then discuss some morbid stuff about cemeteries, ghosts, and all that kind of stuff, and then Casey talks about how she did her history paper on how the Civil War modernized funerals. And I would be lying if I said I didn't want to read that. Or, well, rather, have someone read that to me. I can't look at a block of text and read that. That's awful. I won't remember anything. Alex again shoots his shot with Jordan. He just keeps trying, and she just keeps rejecting him. She's way more interested in Corey, despite Corey only showing affection to Malia, not really flirting with Jordan. Schwartz and Katie go grocery shopping for the house, and on the drive there, they talk about how they're both open to love, and Schwartz talks about how he misses being married and stuff. It's kind of an awkward conversation considering Katie has a huge crush on Schwartz. I don't know if I mentioned that yet. Corey, Brian, Danielle, and Alex all go hiking and biking. And it's clear that Alex does not have the stamina of the rest of them. He can barely keep up, and he is breathing hard. They finally get to the top of the mountain, and Brian talks about his desire to pursue Casey. Corey tells him to pull it back a little bit, play hard to get, because people love games, apparently. Then Danielle tells Alex that she would be more interested in him if he didn't pursue her so hard. And at first when I was listening to her, I thought she was talking about Jordan. Like, Jordan would be interested in him if he didn't pursue her so hard. But she's talking about herself. And then they flirt like a little bit over it, which is kind of strange to me. Because it definitely doesn't show Alex pursuing Danielle hard. He's pursuing Jordan hard. Unless they just didn't have that in the edit, I guess. Schwartz and Katie return with the groceries, and it's all hands on deck to put those things away. It's pirate party night, and Malia and Katie are coming up with questions for the little game for tonight. Jordan says in her confessional that she's not really into Alex, but Alex would be a great match for Danielle to help her get over Robert. Jordan then encourages Danielle to pursue Alex. The group gathers to play the question game, and Schwartz pulls bang, marry, delete. Malia immediately sacrifices herself. She's like, Schwartz, I take one for the team, just take me out, it's fine, it's fine. And he says that he would bang Jordan and marry Katie. Brian pulls who would you kiss, which is a question that apparently has a gold thing on the bottom, so everyone has to answer it. Taking in what Corey said earlier, Brian decides to play a little game on Casey and picks Jordan to kiss instead of Casey. Jordan doesn't kiss him because she's not interested in Brian. I feel like if Brian would have chose Casey, maybe they would have gotten a little smooch. Because following that, Jordan answers and she says she wants to do a three-way kiss with Danielle and Alex. So they do a little three-way smooch. It was very strange, honestly. Kyle, being married, answers he would kiss Shorts, and him and Shorts do a little peck on the lips, and then they go, ah, like it's a big deal. Later that night, Alex and Danielle go into the hot tub, and Jordan is so happy for them. She wants her girl to get some. She then tells Malia that this gives her the go-ahead to pursue Corey, which is what she wanted anyway. And Malia's like, go after it, girl. We end the episode with Alex and Danielle making out in the hot tub. Of course, that's where people make out, the hot tub. Thank you guys so much for joining me on this recap of Winter House Season 3, Episode 2. Tell me in the comments what you thought of today's episode. What did you think of Schwartz joining the house? Do you think Corey and Malia are gonna, you know? And do you think Alex and Danielle's situationship is gonna end badly? Spoiler alert, it does. It really does. It ends so badly. Oh my god. In Winter House Season 3, Episode 3, Exes and Oohs. We continue from the last episode at the pirate party, with Alex and Danielle making out in the hot tub. They stop and Danielle's like, I don't want anything serious. I just got out of a relationship. And Alex is like, oh good, we're on the same page. And they both agree that they don't want anything serious. And this is all just about kissing and having fun. Danielle even encourages Alex to continue pursuing Jordan. And then they go back to making out and go to Danielle's room for other stuff. Katie and Malia ask Corey about Sam again, and he's still being very vague. In Jordan's room, Jordan and Casey talk about how Jordan wants to continue pursuing Corey. And then Casey's trying to hype up her girl, and she's telling her, oh yeah, I've heard through the grapevine and through mutual friends that Sam is trash. And Sam is like a basic B. So with a little bit of hyping from her girl Casey, Jordan decides to go knock on Corey's door. She knocks, but he does not answer. In the cameras in his room, he's clearly awake and he hears the knocking. And he's just like, I'm not gonna answer that because I don't know what's behind that door and it's just gonna get me in trouble. So then after a little bit of knocking and trying to open the door, Jordan realizes that the door's locked, so she just goes onto her bed. Alex wakes up in bed with Danielle. And in both of their confessionals, they say that they didn't go all the way. And Alex says that he's never had a romantic partner encourage him to pursue other girls. Since Alex sleeps naked, he takes a sheet from Danielle's room and goes to his room. Shorts wakes up, and then they both talk about Jordan. Even though Alex just left Danielle's room, he's already talking about how he hopes making out with Danielle will encourage Jordan to want to pursue something. The whole gang heads to the slopes. On the drive to the slopes, Jordan is telling Corey that she knocked on his door, but he was asleep. He then clarifies that no, he was awake. And she's like, okay, well, I knocked and you were ignoring me and your door was locked. And Corey's like, oh, my door doesn't have a lock on it. Which is kind of a weird thing to lie about, I feel like. The group splits up, and Danielle, Katie, and Brian are on the bunny slopes, the, little kid slopes. Alex and Jordan took a lesson, and Casey, Malia, Corey, Kyle, and Schwartz are going on the big boy slopes. For some reason, Schwartz decides to tell everyone that Alex came from Danielle's room into his room this morning. And Casey again asks Corey about his relationship with Sam, which he continues to be vague. Jordan's talking to Alex about how she knocked on Corey's door and he didn't answer. And later, when Jordan tells Danielle about it, Danielle reminds her that she and Sam are friends, so she can't co-sign Jordan going after Corey. After skiing, they all go to lunch and Alex is all over Danielle. In her confessional, Malia talks about friend-zoning Corey because she's not really feeling the romance. She just feels like they're siblings that flirt. I feel like friends that flirt would have been a little bit better to say, but okay. You do you, boo. Kyle and Alex are talking outside, and Kyle asks Alex if Alex is her first rebound since her last relationship. Alex claimed that he had no idea that Danielle just got out of a relationship, which maybe he doesn't remember, but she definitely brought it up. It was her reason for why she wants to just have a friends with benefits and she's not jumping into anything serious. Word for word, she's like, yeah, I don't want anything serious. I just got out of a serious relationship. That's basically what she said. But again, maybe he doesn't remember, or maybe he just doesn't listen to people. I don't know. Schwartz has the greatest idea ever and decides that everyone should make a cocktail based on their exes. And everybody else's confessional, they're like, I don't know why we're doing this. Why are we talking about our exes? This is so awkward. Schwartz makes a cocktail out of tequila because he can't please everyone. Alex says he respects his exes so much, so he just made something sweet. And Casey made a cocktail out of literal trash juice. Most people were like, no, I'm not drinking that. And Danielle and Corey decided to just take a shot of it. Even Casey didn't drink it, but okay. I feel like drinking trash juice would be a really bad idea for your stomach, but what do I know, I guess? While Danielle and Jordan are talking about how Jordan has still yet to make her move, Malia and Corey in the kitchen are discussing whether guys and girls can be friends. And Corey implies, well, he directly says that Malia wants to bang him. And then later, Malia spits alcohol in his mouth in the least sexiest way ever. But despite the fact that Malia and Corey are just kind of like lightly flirting, but not really, and Malia kind of roughhouses with him. She says she grew up with brothers, and that's just kind of what it is. Like, she just roughhouses with guys. Jordan is devastated seeing Malia spit alcohol into Corey's mouth, because that's like basically kissing, which I disagree. Also, I don't think I'd want anybody to spit alcohol in my mouth. That's kind of gross. So Jordan is fuming, and she goes downstairs into her bedroom and just cries. Alex wakes up from his sleep and then goes to Jordan's bathroom to go pee real quick. And he sees Jordan crying, and he's like, what's wrong, Jordan? And Jordan's like, I'm just so confused because Malia encouraged me to pursue Corey, and now she's kissing him. Jordan then starts sobbing even louder, and Malia and Katie go check on her. Malia explains that she just spit in Corey's mouth, and it was not a kiss. And it was not sexual at all. It was just a bleh of alcohol in his mouth. Which, again, still gross. And then we pretty much end the episode on that. Not much happened this episode, I feel like, but that's okay. Thank you guys for joining me on this recap of episode 3 of Winter House season 3. Do you think that Jordan has a right to be upset with Malia over Corey? I mean, other than trying to go into Corey's room, she really hasn't made a move on Corey. I guess she's not really mad at Corey, and she's more so mad at Malia for kissing him or spitting alcohol in his mouth when Malia had said, oh, go get him, girl. Also, I'm pretty sure Corey is the one who's flirting more with Malia than Malia is flirting with Corey. Because Corey is all over Malia. He really digs her. But that's all we got today, so let me know what you thought down in the comments below. Winter House Season 3, Episode 4. Same name, no game. Unsurprisingly, the house is still disgusting from last night's party. Luckily, Malia and Danielle decide to clean up the kitchen. As they're cleaning up, they talk about how Jordan's upset over a kiss between Corey and Malia that did not happen. Then Malia asks about the situation between Danielle and Alex. It cuts back and forth between Danielle and Malia talking about Danielle and Alex, and Schwartz and Alex talking about Danielle and Alex. Danielle is excited, and they went all the way, and they had a great time. And Schwartz is telling Alex how they're the perfect friends with benefits situation, and he can really feel the good vibes between them. I'm sure that's not gonna change at all. Kyle, being the absolute sweetheart he is, goes down to check on Jordan and brings her a cup of water, and asks her how she's feeling. Jordan tells Kyle that Malia says the kiss didn't actually happen, but it seems like Jordan doesn't really believe that it didn't happen. Amanda arrives to the house, and after a tour from Kyle, she and Danielle catch up. Danielle tells Amanda that she and Alex are friends with benefits, and they're having a really good time together. The whole house decides to go UTV and horse riding, and Amanda decides to join despite being kind of low energy from the plane ride. Amanda, Casey, Alex, Malia, Katie, and Jordan all go horse riding, while Kyle, Schwartz, Corey, Danielle, and Brian go on the side-by-sides. I've never heard a UTV called a side-by-side before, but basically they mean like four-wheelers with cages. So like, yeah, a UTV. Kyle then tells Corey how Casey was telling everybody that Sam is trash. And it cuts to a few clips of Casey kind of walking around being like, oh yeah, my friends told me that Sam's basic, my friends told me that Sam's trash, and that she's kind of like trashy and blah 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 blah, and just like kind of overall talking. Corey is actually upset and he decides that he wants to confront Casey at dinner. Once they return home, Brian is preparing for his party tonight, which is going to be celebrating his Indian culture, so he's passing out traditional outfits for everybody. While he cooks with Jordan, Casey, and Schwartz, anytime they ask him a question, he immediately calls his mom. So much so that they put a little Brian calls his mom counter in the bottom left corner. As everyone's getting ready, Danielle walks by Jordan's room, and she overhears Alex telling Jordan that Jordan has a big butt and like complimenting it. Up until this point, Jordan hasn't really been flirting back because she's been more focused on pursuing Corey. But after being rejected by him last night, she doesn't mind the compliments. Danielle immediately runs to Malia and Katie to complain about the situation. And Katie asks Danielle, would you be upset if Jordan and Alex hooked up? Danielle says she absolutely would, because her and Alex literally woke up together that morning. Like they just slept together. It's dinner time, and everybody looks absolutely amazing in their traditional Indian outfits. Except for Amanda, who's not feeling very well, so she decides to go to bed. The food looks fantastic, but y'all know I love Indian food. I love naan. Like, I could literally just eat naan non-stop. As they're eating, Corey decides it's the perfect time to confront Casey about talking about his girl Sam, and basically tells her, hey, stop talking about my girl. Casey begins to apologize, and Danielle immediately cuts her off and is like, you called Sam trash. Kyle then asks Casey if she knows Sam personally, and she says she doesn't. And she continues to say that it was really catty of her to talk about Sam, especially since she doesn't know who she is personally. And she is sorry. Corey accepts her apology, and then they all go back to having the delicious dinner. And instead of going to a bar tonight, they decide to hang out at home for the evening. As Alex is doing the dishes, he's telling Jordan that he wants to be healthier, and he wants to drink less alcohol and party less. But it's so difficult. And Jordan's like, well, you can chat with me anytime you're struggling. And Alex flat out tells her, I'm still interested in you, even though I just hooked up with Danielle. Danielle starts getting jealous, and despite her best efforts to hide it, Alex picks up on it. The next day, Schwartz straight up admits that he likes Katie, but it's name prohibited. He then jokes about changing her name. Riley, another Below Deck member, arrives to the house in freaking flip-flops. Need I remind everybody that it is Colorado and there's snow everywhere, and Riley just shows up in flip-flops? Casey gives Brian a bite of her salad, and she talks about how she won't be able to find anybody to kiss her tonight because there's so much garlic in it. And he replies, well, if they like garlic, you'll be fine, and I love garlic. And I was thinking, oh, wow, that was actually pretty smooth, Brian. But then he followed it up with another bite, and instantly I got the ick. They go out to dinner, and Corey is telling Amanda how Sam is upset about some articles she was reading. And the articles were saying that Corey and Malia are kind of vibing. Danielle also encourages Schwartz to pursue Katie, and he says it's disrespectful to his ex-wife, Katie. Danielle then says, well, she usually goes by Floody anyway, because her last name is Flood. I wish instead of that she should have said, well, get over it. Some people are going to have the same name. It's going to be very annoying watching throughout the season as Schwartz is like, they said Katie, not the word Katie. Like, it's really annoying. Like, grow up. You're a grown-ass man, bro. Like, people will have the same names. If it's that much of a problem, don't pursue her. You know what I mean? Malia also walks Schwartz through making a move on Katie and tells him to just pull her in by the mouth and kiss her. And so he does in the car. And that is where we ended this episode of Winter House Season 3, Episode 4. What do you think about Schwartz's hang-up over Katie sharing the same name as his ex-wife, Katie? Do you think he's just being a bit dramatic, or would you also be hung up about it too? I personally wouldn't have any issues dating someone with the same name as an ex, but if I did, I wouldn't pursue them. They can't go by their nickname forever, and eventually they're gonna be called their actual name. And if it's such a big problem, he shouldn't be trying to sleep with her. That's just my opinion, but let me know yours down in the comments below. In Winter House Season 3, Episode 5, How the West Was Fun. We continue from last episode where Katie and Schwartz are making out in the car. As they all go inside, Danielle sees Alex and Jordan taking a photo together, and she is instantly jealous. Again, I could feel her rage through the screen. It's like anytime they slightly interact, she's already jealous. And I get that Alex is kind of pursuing Jordan, but Jordan hasn't really been like flirting back. She's just been accepting the compliments, which she has a right to do. If Danielle really has a problem with it, I feel like she should tell Alex that she has a problem with it. But instead, she's trying to play it cool. Kyle and Schwartz go outside to talk about Katie and the kiss in the car. And Schwartz says hooking up with someone with the same name as his ex-wife feels like a slap in the face to her. But you see, it's happened before. Bravo shows a clip of Schwartz telling Katie, like maybe from a couple years ago, like, I made out with a girl in Las Vegas, and Katie was like, what was her name? And Schwartz is like, her name was Kate. And Katie was like, how could you? And was like super upset about it. It's weird that while they were married, he didn't have any issues cheating on her with someone with the same, well, similar name as her, but he has issues after being divorced from her, dating someone or hooking up with someone with a similar or same name as her. Especially since her one rule is don't date anyone in the friend group. And he literally did that by sleeping with Raquel. That's a whole nother situation for our Vanderpump Rules recap, and I'm trying not to dive into it, but I have some thoughts on that for sure. So let me know if you want me to recap that whole season so I can tell you guys about it. Back to Winter House. Jordan and Alex are chatting outside, and Danielle is even angrier. When they come back in from chatting, Danielle immediately tries to get Alex to go to bed with her. And he rejects her. He's not trying to sleep with her, he's trying to party and have fun. He's trying to party and have fun with his friends. And it just completely ruins her vibe. As Alex is talking to Jordan, Danielle mouths to him, stop talking to Jordan, and then she angrily goes outside. She grabs a beer from the snowbank, trying to play it off, and Alex follows her. For the first time, Danielle finally communicates to Alex that she doesn't want him to hook up with anybody in the house. But Alex reminds her that he's been flirting with Jordan since day one. Danielle then responds, fine, go ahead and pursue that dead end. If you think it's a dead end, then why is it such a big deal? They argue for a little bit, and then Alex is like, you told me to stop talking to Jordan. And Danielle keeps insisting that she never said that, even though she literally did. Danielle then goes to her room, changes, and then gets in the hot tub and just cries. Katie is still all over Schwartz. She's really trying to work to get that D. But Schwartz really isn't reciprocating at all. She even crawls in his bed to cuddle with him, but he faces away from her, making her the big spoon and him the little spoon, essentially. After Danielle crawls in bed from the hot tub, she texts Alex and tells him to come to her room. To which he does, but Danielle's passed out because she was drunk, and she's snoring super loudly. So Alex, being a bit annoyed, just goes back to his room. The next morning, Amanda tells Danielle about the tiff with Alex. And Danielle and Alex kind of talk it out and hug it out, and Danielle just kind of blames it on the alcohol. As Schwartz is talking to Katie, Malia, and Casey about his flight back home, Malia's like, why didn't you cuddle with Katie last night? And he makes a face, and they're all like, I mean Floody. It's cowboy party time. And they invited the whole town. Schwartz gives Katie some turquoise boot earrings that he bought earlier. Then Aisha from Below Deck Down Under arrives to the party too. Katie tells Aisha that she's been flirting with Schwartz, but Aisha needs to refer to her as Floody, because Schwartz has like a whole name thing that he's got a problem with. Brian pursues a bunch of women at the party, and then he finds one that will make out with him, and when he leaves to go pee and comes back, she's completely gone. She just vanished in thin air. As Riley is telling Katie and Aisha that she made out with some long-haired god, Schwartz comes in, and Aisha's like, why haven't you slept with Katie? He replies, her name isn't Katie, and then makes a huge deal out of her name once again. Katie is finally over it, and she just storms out. It's her name. Like, get over it already. And she should be angry about it. And that's where we end episode 5. What did you guys think down in the comments? Are you getting increasingly annoyed with Schwartz's whole name thing? I really just want to grab him through the TV and be like, get over it. This is the most immature thing ever. Like, Katie told you don't date anyone in the friend group, and you proceeded to pursue someone in the friend group, and that wasn't a big deal, and you just kept telling her to get over it, but you won't pursue someone with the same name. Even though you're still pursuing her, you're just making a big deal out of it, which is kind of annoying to me. What do you guys think? Episode 6 of Winter House Season 3. Say my name, say my name. We start with Katie. Floody, being annoyed at Schwartz for making such a huge deal out of her name. As she storms away angrily that he can't say her name, he comments about how it's a horrible name. Which, I feel like saying that is more disrespectful to his ex-wife Katie than just pursuing someone also named Katie. Schwartz admits in his confessional that he might be using it as a cop-out because he doesn't want to develop feelings. Need I remind the record that he cheated on his wife Katie with someone named Kate. And it wasn't a big deal then, but now all of a sudden it's a big deal. I just find that a little bit suspicious. Like he's trying to put on an act for the show to make himself look like the good guy. Malia is flirting with the ride instructor from their little horse session the other day, and they make out. Malia talks about in her confessional how it's not the first time that she made out with a Hannah, and Katie tells her that she needs to give some advice to Schwartz. While Danielle attempts to save a horse and ride a cowboy, they get interrupted by a bunch of people coming downstairs. Alex goes straight back to the party, getting people's Instagrams, and kind of casually flirting with some girls. One girl even tried to kiss him on the lips, but he did turn his face so that she only kissed his cheek. But then he proceeded to give her his Instagram. Also, I forgot to mention that Danielle is literally standing right next to him when that's all happening. I'm sure that feels great for her. Danielle storms off and asks Amanda, Casey, and Malia if she's crazy for being annoyed that Alex is flirting with other girls right in front of her when they just tussled in some hay, you know? Amanda jokes and is like, hold on, I need a moment. Yeah, I'd be. Danielle instantly gets. She says it shouldn't have taken them more than a second to say that she had a right to be about it. While I understand that they're friends with benefits, I will agree with Danielle that they just made out and potentially did some other things, and then he went right back to flirting with other women. I find that a little bit messy, especially since he did it right in front of her, too. The house then ends the party and kicks everyone out, and as they're cleaning up, Danielle vents about wanting to blow up on Alex. So he pretty much just kind of goes to his room, shuts the door, covers his camera, and the only thing I could think that he does when he covers his camera is cry, because why else would he cover his camera? And another reason I assumed that he was crying was because when Danielle went to go check on him, she was like, I'm the one who should be upset, not you. And then they proceed to talk it out, kind of. And then after talking it out, Danielle takes Alex to her room and they bang it out. I don't know how she wants to sleep with a man that was just trying to bang her and then immediately was flirting with other people, but, you know, you do you, girl. We cut to Schwartz lying in Katie's bed, talking about how he Googled how to change a name in Colorado, and he has it up on his phone. And it's at this moment I would again like to remind everybody that Katie's one rule, his ex-wife Katie, her one rule is do not pursue anyone in their friend group. She doesn't feel disrespected if he pursues someone with the same name. She doesn't feel disrespected if he pursues anybody else. Just don't pursue anybody in the friend group. Which he did, and it wasn't a big deal. He didn't care about disrespecting her then. But now it's such a big deal that he has to search how to change someone's name in Colorado. But I also still think that Schwartz and Raquel was a cover-up for Sandoval. But again, that's a topic for another day. Despite Schwartz trying to change her name, Katie is still interested in him. And they proceed to go to a bathroom, and there's like a lot of kissy noises. She tosses her bra out because she doesn't want it to be picked up on the microphone. And they do stuff in the bathroom. But then Aisha really has to pee, and she's drunk and tired, and she just walks into the bathroom, is like, I gotta pee, and just goes pee. And so it kind of ruins the moment for Schwartz and Katie, so they get dressed and go their separate ways. It's Jordan's day to throw the house party, and she decides to make brunch, and has everyone make their own iron-on onesies. Jordan is super eager to wear hers. She loves onesies, she says. So in the dining room with all the onesies and stuff, she just strips down to her underwear and puts on her new onesie. Brian is there, and of course Alex is there, and she makes a comment about being sorry, I just really want to put this on, and Alex is like, oh, we don't mind. And you know Danielle is still fuming about it. Over brunch, they talk about who hooked up with who and stuff like that, and Jordan says that she doesn't do hookups, and she takes intimate relationships very seriously. I really don't understand why Danielle finds Jordan such a threat, especially after hearing her say that, because I don't think Jordan would even sleep with Alex, like, at all. Like, he literally just wants a friends with benefits situation, and it doesn't seem like Jordan would consider that. At least that's what she said at the table. Anyway, Corey sets up some flag football, and everyone's outside playing except for Schwartz and Katie, because Schwartz is packing to leave. He's going home today so that he can film the Vanderpump Rules reunion. Schwartz asks Katie, and yes, he says her name finally, to help him pack. And she is swooning over it. Girl, this couldn't be any more the bare minimum. He said your name, so now you want to sleep with him really, really bad? Like, I don't know. Literally just last night he was Googling how to change your name in Colorado. It doesn't flip that fast, you know? Anyway, Schwartz leaves, and that's pretty much the end of this episode. What did you guys think? Do you think Danielle has a right to be mad about Alex flirting with Jordan? It seems like she's more angry at Jordan for being flirted with than she is about Alex actually flirting with her. At least that's how it comes across to me. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. Winter House Season 3, Episode 7, Parental Advisory. It's Gaper Day. And for those that are uncultured like me, Gaper Day is a day in April where everybody dresses up ridiculously and pretends to be a gaper. What's a gaper, you might ask? Well, don't be so dirty-minded. Gaper means guaranteed accident prone on every run, which describes me to a T, but I don't think I'll be referring to myself as a gaper anytime soon. Basically, a gaper is like a beginning sledder, a beginning snowboarder, a beginning skier, and so they all dress up ridiculously. The housemates go to the slopes and meet up with Captain Sandy for some snowboarding and skiing. As Brian is driving the car, he tells Katie and Casey about how he was looking in his DMs and someone was telling him to grow up and get off his mom's bosom. Katie and Casey immediately comfort him and are like, some women love mama's boys. Don't let them get to you. In my opinion, as long as they aren't I love a mama's boy, you know, that TLC show, where they basically refuse to set boundaries for their mother, then I don't think there's anything wrong with a mama's boy. But if the mom is a boy's mom, you might want to just back away slowly. A boy's mom doesn't want you there. She wants to be her son's number one. She raised him to be the perfect husband, and she doesn't want him to be married to anyone that doesn't fit her standards, which are unbelievably high. Just look up boy's mom here on YouTube and you'll find tons of videos about it. Danielle is sitting with Alex and she tells him that if he ever comes up to her neck of the woods, they should hang out, and he is instantly put off. This is supposed to be just a summertime fling. He doesn't want to have anything outside of that. But instead of telling her that, he just kind of freezes her out. In his confessional, he says that it's a major red flag that Danielle wants to meet outside of the house. Meanwhile, in Danielle's confessional, she says she enjoys sleeping with him, and while she doesn't want anything serious, she knows that they're on the same page. Alex apparently does not believe they're on the same page. They go home and it is taco night, and everybody looks hot. Corey tells the house that his parents are coming in and that Sam will be coming in after they leave. After dinner, Danielle hunts down Alex and brings him to bed, and he says he's just a man, so you know he went with her. The next day, Amanda is still feeling nauseous, so her and Kyle get a pregnancy test and she takes it. It comes back negative and she is just relieved. Kyle, on the other hand, seems a little disappointed. In their confessionals, they both say they'll be happy when it does happen, but Amanda is in no rush for it to happen right now. While Corey, Brian, and Danielle are outside talking, they talk about the strange vibe in the house. Alex is being distant, Jordan isn't hype enough, and Amanda's not feeling well. Brian tells Danielle that he thinks that Jordan is being low energy because, like, all the men aren't flirting with her. Kyle's taken, Corey's taken, Alex is taken. She's not interested in Brian. Meanwhile, Jordan and Alex are talking in the living room. Jordan asks about Alex and Danielle, and Alex says it's nothing serious, and after the vacation, they'll be going their separate ways. Danielle sees them talking, and as before, and as forever after, she is upset. In her confessional, she says that she feels like they're playing a cruel joke on her. Corey's mom, Tracy, and dad, Brian, who is nicknamed Chief, show up to the house with alcohol, ready to party. In Corey's confessional, he says that they're absolute party animals, and that's where he gets his party animalness from. Corey's mom, Tracy, Danielle, Amanda, Katie, Jordan, and Alex all go for some wine. The ladies were telling Corey's mom that they think Sam might be the one for Corey, and how he really likes her. Danielle calls Alex for being distant with her, and then she decides it's a good time to pull aside Jordan and be like, yo, why are you being so low energy? First, she talks about how great her and Alex are getting along and how she wants that for Jordan too. I don't know what relationship she's seeing, but sure. Danielle flat out tells Jordan that she's being low energy because there aren't any men hitting on her. I guess she's not including Alex or Brian, who were definitely hitting on her, but okay. Jordan says, yeah, it does suck that she's not being flirted with all the time, but it's not going to affect her personality. She doesn't need a man. Danielle and Jordan then talk about being distant from each other, and Danielle finally admits that she gets uncomfortable and a little bit jealous when Jordan and Alex are talking. Jordan said that she wasn't aware that it bothered her so much. Danielle apologizes for not telling her and takes accountability for not communicating that with Jordan and just still being mad about it. Chief, Malia, Casey, Corey, Brian, and Kyle all go on the slopes. Chief is surprised that Corey hasn't hooked up with any of the ladies in the house, and he asks if it's because of Sam. And Corey replies, yeah, kind of. After they go home, while Corey's parents are heading out, his mom stops and asks him if she needs to meet Sam, and if things really are serious, because that's what she heard at the wine thing. Corey insists that they aren't official and that whoever said that is a liar. As Jordan's going to her room, she vents with Alex about how she was being told that she's not bringing the vibes because she doesn't have a man. She expresses her annoyance of being reduced to a woman that needs a man. And when Alex asks who said that, she said it was Danielle. And Alex straight up is like, Danielle's the worst. Well, Danielle overheard them. And she is spiraling. Poor Brian gets caught in the crossfire. And as he's opening clothing packages from his mom, Danielle comes over and pretty much just throws all of his stuff everywhere. And he's like, what are you doing? That's my mom's stuff. She got me that. And Danielle's like, I'm trying to party. Who goes around and opens packages at a party? Kyle tries to stop her, and Danielle is still just fuming. Casey says in her confessional that she thinks Danielle just enjoys raging. And maybe she would enjoy one of those destruction rooms. Brian grabs his stuff and he goes downstairs to his room. And he tells Alex to get his girl under control. Danielle then goes to Brian's room and she blames him for making a big deal of her throwing his clothes. Brian tells her that he felt disrespected and she needs to chill. He tells Danielle, you threw clothes that my mom got me. And that's disrespectful to my mom. And Danielle's like, don't bring your mom into this. Bro, it's about the mom, you know what I mean? She got him the clothes. I think maybe if he bought himself the clothes, he probably wouldn't have been so bothered. But his mom got him those clothes. His mom picked him out. Like, he hasn't had a chance to actually look at them yet, and she's just throwing them around. Danielle then tells Brian to come correct and don't get things twisted. They hug it out because Brian is an absolute sweetheart and he lets it go. Danielle then asks Brian if he thinks that Alex likes her. And Brian's like, yeah, of course he does. Then Danielle tells Brian that she's just going to avoid Alex. And Brian's like, it's not that deep. And Danielle says she needs a second, and then she goes to her room and cries and pulls herself together. Meanwhile, Casey is upstairs telling Amanda what happened. Alex comes in and says, hey, why is Danielle mad? Is it my fault? Did I do something? And Amanda admits that maybe Alex should stay a little bit away from Danielle because it might backfire on him. I did not expect things to go south so fast. I believe that Danielle is very much in her emotions, and I think it's hard for her to admit that. Maybe she wasn't ready to sleep with someone else yet. That's the end of this episode. What did you think about Demon Danielle coming after poor Brian? Do you think that throwing Brian's stuff was way too far? Let me know in the comments down below. Winter House Season 3, Episode 8. Coming in hot. We continue from last episode with Danielle fuming because Alex is pulling away from her. As she passes him to go to her room, she gives him an FU. Later, Danielle and Brian do a shot, and they make up over the whole throwing the clothes thing. Corey tells the confessional that he's so excited for Sam to come, and that Sam is so secure in herself and not a jealous person. Then he says that he hasn't brought girlfriends around her before because he doesn't have that many girlfriends. While the house is having a neon party, Danielle is still in an absolutely sour mood. Danielle decides to end the party early for herself and just go to bed. Alex notices this, and he decides to spend his Danielle-less night flirting with Jordan. They all go to bed around 4:30 a.m., except for Brian, who just heated up some Chinese food, walks into Corey's room, and he's like, dude, you gotta try this, and tries to feed Corey a bite, who was sleeping up until that moment. Corey's like, no, I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm gonna go back to sleep now. Danielle wakes up in a better mood, and she cleans the whole house. When she sees Brian, the first thing she does is apologize for throwing all of his stuff. Sam arrives, and after a quick tour and meeting everybody, Corey takes her to his room and tells her all the women have been gunning for him. She says that she's not surprised. Schwartz also arrives, and he talks about his time at the reunion. The house gets ready, and they all go play on moon bikes in the backyard. Corey and Malia are wrestling and messing around. I feel like it's also worth mentioning that she didn't just tackle Corey, but she also tackled Brian as well. And I don't think there's any chemistry between her and Brian at all. But this doesn't stop Sam from being upset about it. Amanda's in her room packing because she's going home early, and Danielle's sitting with her, and they're talking about Alex. Danielle, for some reason, thinks that their whole friends with benefits situation is going really well, and she's hoping that after the house, it'll become something more. Meanwhile, Alex is telling Schwartz that it isn't working out, and he just wants to be friends with Danielle. She's getting way too attached, and he doesn't want that. After seeing Malia tackle Corey again, Sam is upset, and she goes to the room with Amanda and Danielle to talk about it. She tells them that she feels like Malia's desperate, and she just keeps flirting with Corey. Danielle even says that she notices that too. Later, Danielle warns Malia to kind of tone it down, because Sam is feeling hurt by her and Corey's chemistry. Alex decides this is a great time to pull Danielle aside and break things off. Alex tells Danielle that she always says everything is fine, but then she gets upset and he doesn't understand why. She replies that this is just a fun vacation and she's really enjoying their friends with benefits. He tells her that there's too much emotion involved and he doesn't want that. Danielle tells Alex that it feels like he's trying to make this a teachable moment, and he replies, "You're almost 10 years older than me. There's nothing I can teach you." Danielle then tries to end the conversation with "We're friends with benefits, and it's been amazing, and I want to keep it that way." But Alex finally says, "I just want us to work on our friendship." And Danielle is mad, so she gets up and leaves immediately. Kyle sees that Danielle's upset, and he pulls her aside and asks her what's wrong. And she says that she wants to stay friends with benefits with Alex, but he just friend-zoned her. Kyle asked Danielle how she would feel if Alex and Jordan hooked up, and she said that's fine, they'll just have to experience my wrath. Meanwhile, Alex is pulling Jordan aside to tell her that he just friend-zoned Danielle. Danielle sees them talking, and I swear steam was coming from her ears. They decide since it's Amanda's last night, it's a great time to have a roast. And Amanda starts off with, "Well, before we get into the roast, why don't we start things positively? Everybody talk about their favorite part of their vacation." And then Katie gives a speech about new friendships and stuff, and Schwartz interrupts her with a "Katie, Katie, Katie." And everyone cheers for him saying her name. Again, as if it wasn't the bare minimum. He didn't even have anything to say. He just wanted to say Katie, I think. Kyle calls Corey an F-boy, and then he says Casey likes to throw around the word trash like she's in waste management. In case you forgot, Casey called Sam trash. And I don't think Sam knows yet. Malia roasts Sam with a light, "Welcome to the house. I know it's been a lot to tackle." But after seeing the anger in Sam's eyes, I think she decided to back off and be like, "Alright, cheers to that. Let's drink, everybody." Katie roasts poor Brian by saying, "It's hard to roast someone who's been rejected by every woman here." Brian then roasts Corey by saying, "Your jewelry is so fake, I bet you got it from the same corner you picked up Sam." Alex then roasts Danielle about her snoring and sounding like a fork in a garbage disposal. Then Danielle says, "Alex, you almost lived up to your Jesus looks, but instead of turning water into wine, you just whined about me to everybody in the house." And I think wanting to be friends is the biggest joke of all. After the roast is done, Malia pulls Sam to the side and has a conversation with her, and it doesn't really go well. Malia tells Sam, "You came in hot even though you don't know me." And then Sam reminds Malia that all the articles were talking about how Corey and Malia had such strong chemistry. And then when Sam came in, they were all over each other. So it just kind of confirmed it for her. Malia says that Corey came in the house saying he was in a situationship, and every girl in the house thought he was fair game. Sam replies, well, if you were in a situationship for 8 months, and Malia replies, I wouldn't be, but I respect that you are. And Sam's like, well, clearly you don't. Then they argue for a bit over it, and then the episode ends. What did you guys think of the episode? Do you think Sam is overreacting to Malia tackling Corey? I mean, she did tackle Brian, but she did tackle Corey twice, so I don't know. I don't really think it's that big of a deal. I also personally don't believe that flirting with someone is a big deal unless you're like overstepping boundaries with like physical intimacy of like kissing or like I really don't think there's anything wrong with hugging either. But that's just me personally. Everybody has their own boundaries. So do you think Malia pushed the boundaries or do you think that they were fine to tackle each other and that Sam is overreacting? Let me know in the comments. The final episode of season 3 of Winter House. Episode 9, One Last Ride. We continue on with Malia and Sam arguing. Sam accuses Malia of wanting a relationship with Corey. And Malia's like, I don't want a relationship with Corey. I don't know how I can make that any more clear. And then Malia apologizes and Sam says it's okay. Malia tells Sam that there's stuff that Corey didn't want them to tell her. And when she asks what, Malia's just like, you should ask Corey. Sam is being really vulnerable with Malia and admits that she does love Corey. And maybe being in a situationship might be a little hard for her. Sam goes to Corey's room, and as Malia's talking to Corey, she tells Corey that, yep, Sam is good, everything's okay. So Amanda and Casey go to check on Sam. Sam wants Corey and her relationship to be serious, and she wants to define it. But she doesn't want to be the one that defines it. Corey then finally goes to check on her. And then Sam tells Corey that Malia said that Corey was telling everyone they were in a situationship. And Corey just flat out lies to her and said that he never said those words. Sam asks Corey, well, what are we? And he's like, well, I guess we're dating. And they finally define their relationship as boyfriend and girlfriend. Amanda goes to bed early because she's got an early morning flight. Danielle talks to Alex and asks if they can be more than friends, and he says no. And then Alex goes to his bedroom and goes and lays down. Brian and Casey also both go in there, and then Casey pretty much lunges at Brian and kisses him. And then they're just making out on top of poor Alex. Alex gets up out of his bed, and then he goes to Malia's bed and just goes to sleep in there. Casey and Brian move to Brian's room and make out. Katie and Schwartz are making out in Katie's bed. I don't know what was in this food, but pretty much everybody's making out with somebody. Except for Alex and Danielle, where Danielle's just upset and Alex is sleeping. It's the next morning and Amanda leaves, and it's everybody else's last night here. Danielle goes to Alex's bed this morning and tries to bang, and he says no again. Meanwhile, in Corey's room, Sam asks Corey what he wanted everyone to avoid telling her. And Corey admits that Casey called her trash. Everyone goes out into the kitchen, and Sam announces to the house that she and Corey are finally dating. Danielle pulls Alex from the hallway into a bathroom, and they bang it out again, despite Alex literally saying no earlier. But Alex says he's just a man. So what was he gonna do, say no? It's their last day here. How much worse can it be? Literally, after banging Danielle in the bathroom, he goes to Jordan in the kitchen, and he's already flirting with her. Everyone goes snowboarding, and then afterwards, Sam pulls Casey aside to confront her about talking trash. Casey apologizes for spreading gossip and calling Sam trash. And then they hug it out and make up. Schwartz is making drinks for him and Katie, and he's gonna take her out on a date in the backyard. So Danielle goes in the backyard and pretty much sets up a cute little table and makes it look super adorable. Which of course Schwartz will take credit for. Schwartz and Katie have a little date in the backyard, and Schwartz invites her to LA. The whole house goes to a bar, and you know Alex is still flirting with Jordan. Jordan decides to pull Alex aside so that they can have a talk. Jordan tells Alex that she feels like they're really close, good friends. And she's really glad that they met each other. And then they hug. And Danielle, the steam is just shooting out of her ears. Alex is in the kitchen and he's feeding Jordan, while Danielle is in Corey's room talking shit about Jordan to Sam. Sam says it's Jordan's job to shut it down. But I really still don't think Jordan has done anything wrong. Like, she's been kind of like accepting his flirting and like a little bit of flirting back, but she hasn't really done anything. It's not like she's been twerking up on him or like licking him or anything, you know? Casey crawled into Katie's bed where Schwartz was sleeping, and she straight up just passed out. Well, when Katie joined Schwartz in bed later so that they could, do stuff, Katie climbs over Schwartz and kicks poor Casey in the face. But Casey is so drunk, she's just sound asleep and doesn't notice. So when Katie was like feeling around in the dark, like, what did I just kick? What was that? She realizes it was Casey and she's like, oh my gosh. And then she starts pulling Casey out of the bed to get her to move and go to her bed so that Katie and Schwartz can, you know, do a little kiss and whatever. Alex changes the song and Jordan's going to change it back on her phone. And then Alex wraps his arms around her and Danielle, like no joke, I'm pretty sure she lost it. Danielle runs over and pushes them away from each other. And then she just starts yelling at Jordan about how she's an uncool girl, and if she was a cool girl, she wouldn't be flirting with the guy that's banging her. Alex literally just leaves and runs to his bedroom and goes to sleep. And Danielle and Jordan pretty much just yell at each other, and Danielle's like, I'll eat you up, I'll eat you up. And Jordan's like, you keep saying that, but you're all bark. And Jordan's like, you keep saying that, but you're all bark and no bite, all bark. Everyone tries to keep Jordan and Danielle away from each other, and Danielle goes to her bed and just sobs herself to sleep. The next morning, Jordan comes upstairs, and Alex apologizes for just kind of leaving her to the wolves last night. And as everyone's packing, Danielle wakes up and she regrets picking a fight with Jordan. Danielle pulls Jordan aside and she's like, why were you looking at him like that? Why were you dancing with him like that? And Jordan's like, I was dancing with him the same way I was dancing with Kyle, the same way I was dancing with Brian. I don't know what you're talking about. Danielle then apologizes and they pretty much hug it out, agreeing not to let Alex come between them. And then everybody grabs their stuff and goes home. And that's the end of episode 9 of Winter House Season 3. What did you guys think of this whole season? Are you excited for the reunion? I've already got like some notes written down from the reunion because I was just going to recap the reunion, but I was curious about the context, so I had to go and write the show. So right now I'm rewriting the reunion video because obviously my thoughts have changed a little bit. I still think Alex is super messy, and I think Danielle overreacted considering the fact that they both agreed to be friends with benefits. I can kind of see why Danielle's so mad. Because, like, Alex literally would not stop flirting with Jordan. But Danielle just kept sleeping with him. You're basically rewarding him for bad behavior. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Schwartz spends this season trying to avoid disrespecting his ex-wife by disrespecting Katie in the house. In the reunion of Winter House Season 3, we've got enemies with benefits, slow hot tub rejections, and dramatic situationships. So grab your snacks and a cup, and let me pour you some tea. Chapter 1. Party, Sleep, and Repeat. The reunion starts with Andy introducing the Winter House cast, as he does with any reunion. A simple, hello, how are you? After introducing the left side, Danielle, Kyle, Amanda, Brian, and Casey, he moves to the right side and introduces Schwartz, and then immediately he throws some shade. He tells Schwartz to cover his ears, and then he introduces Katie. Andy then says hello to Alex, Corey, and Jordan. Bravo shows clips of everyone partying, staying up all night, dancing on counters, spitting in each other's mouths, and licking mustard off of each other's nipples. You know, the usual share house shenanigans. The usual shenanigans? What, you don't lick condiments off your friends? No, I don't think most people do that. Anyways, Andy asks how much sleep everyone got, because it seems like they were always awake partying, and everyone says 4 hours, except for Amanda, who says about 6 to 8 hours every night. She understands the importance of sleep, and I can get behind that. Luckily for the house, the Southern Charm gang wasn't there, so the house wasn't nearly as dirty as previous seasons. And also thanks to Malia for waking up early and doing some cleaning sessions. She's from a show called Below Deck where they basically cater to a bunch of yachties, so she's used to waking up early and cleaning. And sometimes she'd wake up so early that production would just tell her to go back to bed because they don't have anything planned until later in the day, when everyone else is awake. Andy asked Schwartz how he felt about filming Winter House a week after Scandival dropped. For those who are out of the Bravoverse loop, let me catch you up. Schwartz and Sandoval, both first named Tom, are longtime cast members of the show Vanderpump Rules. Throughout season 10, Tom Schwartz was navigating his divorce and flirting with Raquel, also known as Rachel, another cast member of Vanderpump Rules. I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one that believes that Tom Schwartz and Raquel was just a cover-up for Raquel and Tom Sandoval. Anyway, it turns out throughout the season that Tom Sandoval and Raquel were actually having an affair behind his long-term girlfriend Ariana's back. Tom Sandoval and Ariana were together for 10 years, and Raquel was Ariana's best friend.
Hey guys, sorry for the jump scare. I'm editing this video right now. I just wanted to include the fact that Ariana supported Tom Sandoval through his worm phase. She put in the work, bro. She supported that man through that mustache. And he's gonna cheat on her? Disgusting.
So you can imagine the betrayal she felt. Their affair absolutely blew up on blogs, podcasts, and all other forms of reality TV drama recaps. People were absolutely captivated by the couple's separation, and Ariana skyrocketed to well deserved fame. She premiered in all kinds of commercials, did Dancing with the Stars, and even hosted Love Island. She's even on Broadway. I'm still a little confused on why it blew up so much. Throughout the first seasons of Vanderpump Rules, Tom Sandoval was caught openly cheating on his girlfriend Kristen and even admitted it, so this is a pattern for him. I wouldn't be surprised if in that 10 years it wasn't just Raquel and there was more. Allegedly. By me. I allege it. Sandoval was supposed to be on Winter House with Tom Schwartz, but I think his PR team told him to stay back. Andy then changes the topic to Amanda's pregnancy scare and Kyle's reaction to the negative test. Amanda says that she was surprised by Kyle's reaction because they never had the "I'm ready for a baby" talk. And Kyle says that no one is ever really ready for a child, and he wouldn't mind being a dad one day. Schwartz chimes in and says that he also has baby fever. Maybe hold off a little bit, bro, you just got divorced. Andy then brings up Brian's pickup lines, where he called Malia Shrek because she has lots of layers, like an onion. Unfortunately, his pickup lines never really worked on Malia or Jordan, but it did work out, allegedly, on a Salt Lake City housewife. They then discuss Casey's love for taxidermy and how she found a raccoon, but her mom made her get rid of it because it was starting to rot. Now that we finished all this room temperature tea, maybe it's time I serve you something a little warmer. Short's fumbling his shot by disrespecting Katie, and yet still somehow reaching the goal. Chapter 2. Schwartz name game drama. Listen, her pickings were slim. Kyle was married, Brian was calling Malia an ogre, Danielle and Alex were sleeping together. I mean, she really had no choice. And sometimes a woman just needs some lovin', I guess. You see, when Schwartz came to Winter House, he was fresh out of his divorce from Katie. He just got done fighting with her over his lack of respect towards her by pursuing someone in the friend group when that was her one rule. I guess Schwartz decided that disrespecting Katie was only worth it for Raquel. He would flirt with Katie, but then he wouldn't stop bringing up the fact that her name was the same name as his ex-wife. And he'd constantly talk about how disrespectful it was to his ex-wife Katie. Everyone in the house wanting to be good friends with Katie and wanting her to get laid, they started referring to her as Floody. And anytime someone called her Katie, he would make a huge deal out of it. Katie was finally over it, and Tom finally called her Katie, and she was hooked on him. Schwartz definitely has a golden retriever energy about him, but I think it's all a front. I've seen every episode of Vanderpump Rules, and to me, Schwartz is kind of manipulative and a terrible person. Allegedly. By me. I allege it. As Schwartz tries to play shy, Malia tells him to just pull Floody in for a kiss. And so he does. They hook up in a bathroom, and Andy comments about the bra being thrown out of the bathroom door. Floody said that she did that because she didn't want the microphones picking up the, lewd sounds that they were gonna make. After the show, they did get together for another night of partying, but they kept it with friends with benefits. At least they ended things amicably, unlike the next couple? Chapter 3. Friends with Benefits Gone Wrong. After being rejected by Jordan in the hot tub with an iconically slow and awkward kiss attempt, Alex decides to pursue Danielle. In the middle of Danielle and Alex making out, Danielle says that she just wants to stay friends with benefits and she doesn't want things serious. She just wants to keep it light and fun. And she even encourages Alex to pursue Jordan in the middle of their makeout session. However, Danielle instantly got feelings for this homegrown Tarzan. She tries to hide her jealousy, although not very well, if I'm being honest. A few episodes in, she finally tells Alex that he needs to not sleep with anybody in the house, and he needs to be respectful of her. But despite setting that boundary, Alex continues to pursue Jordan throughout the season, even though Jordan really didn't seem that interested after the hot tub incident. Anytime Danielle would catch Alex flirting with Jordan, she would go absolutely ballistic. And then she would take it out on poor Jordan. And one time, even Brian.
Hi, you know why I'm here. Danielle and Alex kind of got into a little spat And then Alex told Jordan that Danielle's the worst, and Danielle overheard them. And then poor Brian was just opened up his clothing and she was just like tossing it everywhere. Poor Brian got caught in the crossfire.
Danielle even accused Jordan of being low energy because none of the men in the house are flirting with her. Well, except for Alex, apparently. Alex and Danielle proceed to argue throughout the season, and then they'll hook up, and then they'll argue again. Thank gosh after the season they decided to be friends. I mean, they decided to never speak again. I personally don't think Jordan is in the wrong here. I think Alex was really messy, flirting with Jordan constantly and doing it in front of Danielle. And even when they had a house party, he was flirting with other girls in front of Danielle, even after just sleeping with her. So I do think Alex is the problem, but Danielle did say that she wanted to be friends with benefits and nothing serious. And in the second episode, she encouraged Alex to continue pursuing Jordan, even though that they were making out. I think she changed her mind when they had intimate relations for the first time. I really don't understand why Danielle is so mad at Jordan. She just keeps taking it out on her. I feel like she should direct all of her rage towards Alex because he was the one flirting with Jordan. Jordan was just existing as a beautiful woman, and Alex could not resist her, apparently. Dude has no self-control. I understand that she felt disrespected, but again, she needed to bring that up with Alex, not Jordan. What did you think about Danielle telling Alex to talk to you before she made out with him? It felt counterintuitive. If you were interested in him, it was strange to encourage him to pursue me. I didn't give an F. The flirting was so much, it became a respect thing. It wasn't about me having feelings for Alex. We're under the same roof, and it's happening right in front of me, which was such a slap in the face by both of you, really. What did we do? The flirting constantly? What? Nobody saw that? I interacted the same with Alex that I did with Brian. You went into this saying it was 100% a casual thing. I did. Once the disrespect happened, that's not casual to me. It just seems like you're being an asshole. You didn't communicate, I'm still gonna flirt with Jordan every chance I get. I think it was personal with Jordan, because you knew I was interested in her. But I think I flirted with everyone every single day. I don't think I changed course at any point. The problem is, I think you should have. It doesn't register to you that you should have changed a little bit of your behavior. Maybe if it was more casual. If it was a relationship, then change your behavior. But it wasn't. We talked every day about it. Under the same roof? Boy, you are different. Jordan, you knew they were stripping. Did you think you were being disrespectful of Danielle by flirting with him? No. And that surprises you? It disappoints me. Andy asked what Short's thoughts were, and Short says that they were friend with benefits goals in the beginning, in their honeymoon phase, and then things just went south. Andy asked what Amanda's thoughts were, and Amanda says she didn't really notice a lot of the flirting in the house, but after watching it back, Alex was definitely being messy. But they did agree to be friends with benefits and nothing serious. So the whole thing was just messy in general. Andy asked Danielle if she was worried that Jordan and Alex might hook up, and Danielle insists that she wasn't. But as a woman, Jordan should have backed off, even though Alex was the one pursuing her, not the other way around. Jordan points out that she did back off, and I personally believe that the hot tub incident is probably what gave her the ick and made her back off more. Danielle then stands by that she didn't like what she saw, and she didn't like what she saw in the show either. But she values her friendship with Jordan more than she values a relationship with Alex. So Danielle and Jordan are going to work on their relationship. Chapter 4. Vague Intentions and Spit Takes. Corey came into the house very much in a situationship with Sam. And whenever anyone asked about their relationship status, Corey was always super vague about it. About how they never had labels, and they're just in a situationship. One day, Corey heard that Casey was talking shit about Sam, and he put a stop to that, and he's like, don't talk shit about my girl. When Sam finally did come to the house, Malia was tackling Brian and Corey, and Sam saw Malia tackle Corey, and she was really jealous. She had been reading a bunch of articles saying that Malia and Corey were really vibing, and so she already came in with that in the back of her head, and watching Malia tackle Corey really just confirmed that for her. After Sam argued with Malia about her not respecting their 8-month-long situationship, Corey and Sam go to their room and they finally make it official. Andy asks Corey what his intentions were coming into the house, and Corey says he didn't want to overstep any boundaries, but he still did want to have fun. They allegedly had agreed that he wouldn't hook up with anybody when he got into the house. I really wish when they asked him to define his relationship, he would have straight up been like, I'm not allowed to hook up with anybody, but I'm allowed to flirt. Andy asks Sam if she has any thoughts from watching the show, and she says she has quite a few. Sam brings up that Malia said that she and Corey were like platonic siblings who spit in each other's mouths and flirt a little bit. And also, Malia said that Corey looked like he would be a really great kisser. Kind of gross thing to say about someone you consider a sibling, but okay. Sam, you think everyone wants Corey, and it's laughable. You would have definitely slept with me if I gave you the opportunity. Corey, I wouldn't have slept with you on Winter House. That's not true at all. You're just mad a guy you called a 3 rejected you. That's why you called him a 3. No, I'm not. Corey's not my type. I watched the show and heard from Corey, and the first thing Danielle said was Malia was all over him. Sam says when she first got to the house, Danielle pulled her aside and said Malia had been all over Corey. Malia speaks up and tells Sam that she wasn't the only one. And Sam says, that brings me to my next point. And then she gets upset at Jordan for knocking on Corey's door in the middle of the night. Jordan says that she didn't know her and Corey were together. And Malia says that she didn't know that either. And neither of them knew Sam. And Sam's like, well, I didn't know you until I saw the blogs about you vibing with Corey. Katie reminds Sam that Corey was the one being vague. And Andy asks if Corey gets any of the blame. Sam says he gets it all the time. And it's really affected their relationship. Does Corey get any of the blame? All the time. Thank you. No, not thank you, Malia. You don't know our relationship, and you keep insisting it. It's not just me, Sam. You're yelling at just me. You came in super insecure about your relationship status. And instead of talking to me or any other woman in the house, you gunned for me. You were disrespecting me in front of my face. Corey was disrespecting you. When I came into the house, Corey said, I told those girls we were dating, and they're still coming for me. That's the information I got. I did say we were dating. After a little bit of arguing, Corey admits that he was trying to have his cake and eat it too. Which, what else do you do with cake? Of course you're supposed to eat it. I guess it's because, like, you can't have it if it's eaten, right? That's, like, the whole point of the phrase, but, like, you're still having it by eating it. But, okay. Corey admits that he took it too far with this fitting thing. And Sam says that it just felt personal because she did that with Corey on Summer House. Malia insists that she didn't watch Summer House. And Sam starts crying, talking about how it really damaged their relationship and she felt so disrespected. They talk more about the spit kiss thing. And Andy asks Jordan to explain the second one that she witnessed. Jordan says it's just like the one that they filmed, but it was in the bathroom. They were all drunk and it really wasn't that big of a deal. She was just in her feelings. Corey chimes in that it's not a sexual thing. And Sam asks, well, why did Jordan start crying then? Of course Jordan had a thing for Corey too. And Malia being flirty after Jordan was vulnerable with her and being encouraged to pursue Corey, she felt set up, so her feelings were hurt.
Guess who's back? So I don't think I was very clear about this. Basically, Malia had encouraged Jordan to go for Corey, and then after doing that, Malia spit in Corey's mouth. That was why Jordan was kind of upset about it.
Jordan says that she was also struggling with having a show that hadn't aired yet, and being the only black woman in the house. And she was struggling with being in Colorado for the first time too. Everything was just overwhelming. So it was really just the straw that broke the camel's back and made her cry. Sam then claims that Malia is two-faced. And Katie sticks up for her and says that Malia is a girl's girl through and through. Kyle then reminds Sam that the ladies didn't know that Sam was in a relationship because Corey kept being vague. So she should try to give Malia and Jordan the benefit of the doubt. And benefit of doubt. Benefit, doubt, doubt, benefit, benefit of the doubt. Benefit of the doubt, benefit of doubt. Benefit of doubt? Shorts tries to bring up his boy Corey by talking about when Casey disrespected Sam and called her trash, that he stuck up for Sam and put a stop to it immediately. Casey also brings up how she was on the show and she apologizes for gossiping about Sam despite not knowing her. She says she was trying to bring herself up by bringing Sam down and that it wasn't right. Andy asked Corey if Casey didn't call Sam trash, if he would have called Sam his girl at any time and kind of defined the relationship. Corey says that he's a rebel and he doesn't like labels that are being pushed onto him. He wanted to do things on his own terms. Sam rightfully says that she's more important than that, and she's not just a tool for him to rebel. Sam also acknowledges that Corey wasn't treating her right and demands better. After that, Malia says that after she met Sam, she wanted to help her and Corey's relationship, not ruin it. Andy asks Sam if she buys that, which kind of implies that he also doesn't believe it, right? Or am I just reading too much into it? As Sam replies, she starts crying. She's saying that it's been really hard on their relationship. She has an investment in Corey, and she felt like nobody was respecting that. Amanda then says, well, at least you didn't have to watch him making out with girls, reminding us that Kyle had cheated on her in front of the cameras. Andy says that the whole situation could have helped them put a label on it, and if it wasn't for that, they wouldn't be dating. Sam agrees, but she wishes it actually felt like a win, because forgiving him is a choice that she has to make every single day. Malia apologizes and sends a virtual hug to Sam. And that's everything that happened in the reunion of Winter House Season 3. What tea had you captivated the most? Short's cringy attempts to respect his ex-wife by disrespecting Katie? The roller coaster of Danielle and Alex friends with benefits situation? Or Sam coming in and immediately attacking Malia? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like or dislike the video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time. Bye guys!